Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Saturday, December 21st, around 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2024. The backside of the sun is still fun. Huge outblast, potentially an M7 solar flare, as we are awaiting this region to turn around the limb. Keep calm. It's boom time. And happy solstice. Today is the shortest day in the Northern Hemisphere and the longest day in the Southern Hemisphere. And we all have been celebrating this moment for tens of thousands of years. So enjoy the moment. After tonight, each and every day will get longer and longer. And then we will be planting the seeds of life again. New York City sees its first December snowfall in years before temps drop into the teens. And an Arctic blast to hit the Northeast, potential for Christmas Eve snow for the entire region. It's looking like snow flurries and an inch or more, very negotiable and very holiday-like. And here's the full forecast. Snow across the Great Lakes and Central Appalachians, as well as the Northeast. Unsettled weather in the West. Light to moderate snow will continue into Saturday over the Great Lakes, Central Appalachians, and the Northeast. This weekend into next week, a series of atmospheric rivers will bring gusty winds, periods of heavy rain, and mountain snow to Northern California and the Pacific Northwest. Colder temperatures are in store for the weekend from the Great Lakes to the East Coast. Let's take a look at the thermodynamics, shall we? We're going to really take a quick look at the 2 meter shaded. You can see the freezing there. This is the 21st, and overnight it's going to penetrate that cold all the way down towards Florida. There's the freeze line for the 22nd. The 23rd maybe will moderate here. You can see how it's dipping down there Monday the 23rd. Here is Christmas Eve. It's actually quite balmy, but cold enough in Philly and New York, as well as the Central Appalachians for some snow flurries. We'll move it through Christmas Day. It's getting a little warmer and will moderate in the east, but the west is going to cool down. Taking a look at the total snowfall, we'll get a better idea how this is going to lay out. Overnight into Sunday, you can see just a few lake effect regions picking up snow in the east, but the west is going to continue to tumble down here. Here's Monday, the 23rd. You can see that system moving through the Great Lakes in Canada as we approach Christmas Eve. And there is the Christmas Eve snow for the Northeast, all the way down to Philly, maybe even Manhattan. All of the northeastern states, western PA, all of New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, western Massachusetts, western Connecticut, and all of Maine should see a white Christmas. High elevations in the west will see snow all day Christmas Day. Watch how it progresses. Holy macaroni, all the way into our region. So we're going to be picking up snow Christmas Day. It will be a Christmas miracle for the God children. And that will be a wonderful day as we open gifts and play in the snow. Maybe I need to get a sled. Ho, ho, ho. Moving the models through the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, and January 1st into the new year, the West is going to be literally buried in the global warming goodness. Ski resorts will be making millions, if not billions, and everyone skiing in the West will be happy all the way down to Taos Valley. And terrible news coming out today, right before the holidays. At least 5 killed and 200 injured after a car plows into a Christmas market in Germany. Sounds like a broken record. And the man responsible is, yeah, you guessed it, from the Middle East. Holy macaroni. The suspected driver, identified as a doctor from Saudi Arabia who lived in Germany, was detained and is the biggest scumbag on earth tonight. Seismic update. Interesting quakes of note today. We've got a 5.3 just kicking off in South Africa. This is to do with new rifting that is happening in this region. So pretty normal activity, albeit in a very bizarre area. Overall, low-level activity worldwide. Biggest rumbler, 6.1 in Vanuatu. Who knew? Now you do. Worldwide volcano news for the day. Santa Huito, 14,000 feet. Semeru on the list, 15,000 foot puff there. Popo to 22. Sangay to 20,000. Sabancaya to 20,000. Fuego to 15. Nevado de Ruiz, 20,000 foot puff. Santa Guito to 14. Popo to 23. Sangay to 20,000. Reventador, 14,000 foot puff today. Ibu to 7,000 feet. Sakurajima, 6,000 foot puff there. Sabancaya to 20,000. Fuego to 16. Sakurajima, 6,000 foot puff. Sounds redundant. Sabancaya unable to detect. Sangay to 21,000 feet. Swanasima, 4,000 foot puff there. Reventador, 14,000 foot. Wrapping up worldwide volcano news for the day. Quick look at space weather. We are at solar max. There's been very little activity for weeks on the sun. We have been experiencing over the last week major activity on the far side, and it's happening and continuing today. Here's the sticks. Quick look. Life curves. Let's take a look and read it. The Solar Orbiter spacecraft deployed by ESA is currently catching up with Earth in its orbit around the sun, but saw just enough behind the east limb to detect an M7 plus solar flare at 1942 UTC. This is likely the cause of the CME seen here on Saturday evening, an earlier eruption of the limb on Saturday morning, and is the result of a flare measuring at least M2. So, who knew? Now you do. This baby is going to be turning around, and maybe we'll be spicing up space weather in the new year. And there we can see the far side boom today. Rapid Antarctic sea ice loss is causing severe storms around the world, according to the mainstream media and the so-called journalists. The only problem is they didn't check the data. Antarctic ice extent and area have now reached the 30-year multi-decadal average, which means there has been no Antarctic ice loss in extent or area in almost 40 years. And moving on to the new update from the World Magnetic Model. The Historic Magnetic Declination app is absolutely spectacular. You can watch the progression of the North Magnetic Pole from 1590 to present, and you can witness the acceleration that occurred shortly after the year 2000. After the Carrington event, the pole started to make its way towards Russia, but it made a slow, steady path until 2000, when it rapidly increased, as you see here. Lee and I will break it all down on Magnetic Reversal News in just a moment. We will also talk about the bonobo and the chimpanzee, two different species according to anthropologists. But Lee and I will argue that the bonobo and the chimpanzee are the same species because they can interbreed. The only difference is one walks upright, the other one doesn't. One's much larger than the other, and they live in completely different geographical areas because they've been separated. This is the same thing that happened to Neanderthal and Denisovan and Homo sapien about 1 million years ago. The only problem is scientists claim we're different species, but we're all the same humans. And here's the paper to reveal it all: Partitioning the Genomic Journey to Becoming Homo sapiens. And join us in just a few minutes over at Magnetic Reversal News for the entire expose and the holiday show to remember. World Magnetic Model update, and researchers claim we're the same species as Neanderthals and Denisovians. We'll break it all down in just a few minutes. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We need new subscribers to help the channel grow. More than 50% of the people watching this are unsubscribed. So what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and be well. And that's a boom. Happy solstice and happy holidays and Merry Christmas. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. And that is a boom.